Welcome to the show. This is podcast episode 11. We have John here. John, kind of take us off, man. I just want to hear a little bit about what you do and how you got started and that kind of thing, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Stephen. This is kind of a cool deal for us. So, basically, what we are is, excuse me, we are a roofing company. We are a roofing and construction company. Is how we're labeled. It's how our LLC is set up. But we're primarily a roofing company. We service pretty much all of Southeast Texas. This year in 24, it's been kind of a crazy year. We've gone as far north as Round Rock, as far west as Westlake out there in on the west side of Houston. We've done work all the way as far south as League City. But basically, I mean, like I said, we're a roofing company. We're about to celebrate our 5 year anniversary here next month. We got kicked off back in 2019. In my former career, I was a high school football coach and Spanish teacher, and did that for for 18 years. And it got to the point where the juice wasn't worth the squeeze anymore, and had to make a change. And I got into the roofing industry working for another company that's local to where we are right now, and served as his general manager for about a year, and then decided that it was time for me to make my own mark and go into business. Um, in 2019, like I said, when we got started, I did have a business partner that we started off with, and that worked out for about 4 years. And back in April of this year, that's whenever I decided to buy him out and take the reins by myself. And it's been ongoing ever since. So, but that's kind of the background, the background behind us. We're a growing company. We're definitely in a position right now where we are trying to bring on new staff, new workers for us, not new staff, but new 1099 salesmen. I've got one guy that used to work with us at the other roofing company. Actually got him hired on again earlier this year, and now we're in the process of training a young man to come on board as well. So we're definitely a small company, but we're growing. We're trying to get to the point where we can be big wigs in the roofing market, and get out there and make our mark.
Nice, man. And I will say, you said 5 years, and and I know you said you were a football coach beforehand. What was that
Correct.
transition like from being a football coach, especially for 18 years? So, it's a very long time. Moving from football coaching and then into like starting your own business, going into roofing. Like, what was that jump like? How did you guys get started?
I'm not going to lie. It was kind of a nerve wracking experience. I'm not going to lie. You get in your comfort zone, and you know that you're out there, collecting a paycheck, monthly through a school district, and you know that money is going to be coming in. So making the leap was kind of a leap of faith. I'm not going to lie. It was a little nerve wracking. I had to go through a divorce, so that's really what kind of drove me to get out of the coaching realm, because of the hours that I had to commit to coaching were just too overwhelming, and it really put a mark on my former relationship with my ex-wife. And that was kind of the deal breaker. We were already in the divorce process whenever I decided to make the leap. But going back to your question, it was a leap of faith, man. It was one of those things where I when I was working as a general manager for the other roofing company, I had a steady income coming in, and as we got closer to the end of the year, he started putting me on commission with sales, and it started taking away from my pockets. And that's whenever I realized that I had the connections in place already through that position to do something like this. I had connections with suppliers. I had connections with workers. I had supply. I mean, I had connections with people, and I had a knowledge of the background knowledge of the industry at that point to really kind of make that transition happen, to go away from the roofing company that I was with and get into our own deal. So my former business partner he's got tremendous sales experience. He was in software sales for years, and has a lot of knowledge, and as far as how to sell, and who to sell to, and finding out who your target demographic is, and things like that. So we were able to utilize my knowledge and connection with the industry and his sales experience to really make this thing work. So like I said, it worked very, very well. A lot of foundational stuff, a lot of growing pains going through the process. But once we kind of got everything established and everything going, it was a very much welcome change. I can say that much.
As a coach and a teacher, what lessons have you taken from being that and then going into business? What lessons did you bring into business with you? What has helped you?
Okay, so one thing is that you have to be disciplined. You have to be, and that's one thing that as a coach you teach kids that you got to be disciplined in what you're doing. You got to take care of all your stuff. You got to take care of stuff in the classroom. You got to take care of stuff on the field. Same thing goes in business. I mean, if you're not taking care of the little things, the little bit, paying off invoices. If you're not taking care of your warranty stuff and things like that, if you're not disciplined enough to take what you're doing and do it right over and over and over again and set the groundwork for the processes and procedures, you're eventually going to fail. And that's one of the things that we had an issue we had with when I was working with my business partners, that there was no process, there was no discipline in the matter, and that's what ultimately caused us to get to the point where we had to separate out. But as a coach, you focus on kids and helping them become better individuals in society. As a businessman, you want to make sure that your business is always thriving, okay, and you're doing the necessary things. And it comes down to making sure that what you're doing is in the best interest of the business, and not for your own personal gain, but it's in the best interest of the business, especially in the first 5 years. There's books out there that say if you can make it past the 5 year mark, you're good to go. Well, that's true, but you still have to, even after the 5 years, you still have to make sure that you're doing things the right way and you're keeping the business as the center focus of your everyday life. And it's the same thing in coaching, making sure that kids are being successful and letting them understand that, hey, this is something that just doesn't happen overnight. It's something that happens with hard work and determination and discipline. It's got to be one of those things where you're committed to it. And because if you don't, then you're not going to be successful in athletics. And if you don't commit to your business, you're not going to be successful in your business.
Amen to that, man. You crushed that right there. For anyone who would be watching who struggles with discipline, because I know, especially, I'm a bit younger. When I first started out, my first 6 months to the year was like learning how to be disciplined, how to get up, how to not have someone tell me what to do every day. And that's a big struggle for a beginner in this kind of field. So what would you say to someone who's struggling with discipline, who um, struggles to get up every day, what would you say to them?
Well, it's a priority thing. Okay. First of all, if it's somebody who's having a hard time getting up in the morning, if your priority is sleeping, then that's where you're going to be successful, is in sleeping. Okay. One thing I will say is that I work with a business coach. Okay. I work with a business coach, and he kind of keeps us on track. And my wife and I talk with him twice a month and just kind of get pointers, and he keeps track of a lot of the financial stuff. But setting goals, okay, finding out what you really want to accomplish, okay, and setting goals for yourself to get to that point. It's one of those things where if you don't have, like, if you don't know where you're going, you don't know how you're going to get there. If you're just kind of throwing darts in the dark, you don't know what you're hitting. So if a person doesn't know what they really want, and doesn't have some sort of path in place, then they're not going to get anywhere. So setting goals, personal goals, business goals, okay, lifelong goals. And my wife and I have only been married for a year, and we sat down with the person the other day about life insurance policy. So we're thinking, long term, so we're starting to set these goals, personal goals. But in the business realm, you've got to have, like, what is your goal for this year? Okay. Well, my goal for this year was to clear $1 million in revenue. Okay, that was really the ultimate goal. I knew I could do it, and here we are starting Q4, and we've already cleared 1.1 for the year with 3 more months to go. Okay, so we've met that goal. All right, so now I've reset my goal for the year to say, okay, now that we've cleared $1 million, which has been accomplished, I've got 3 months. Can I get to 1.3? Okay, if I can do that, that's great. For 25, what's my goal? Well, if we make 1.3 this year, my goal for next year, especially with bringing on these two sales reps this year, my goal next year is to clear 1.5. Okay, so if you're an individual who's trying and dipping your toe into something entrepreneurial, make sure you know what you want. Okay, make sure you know what your goals are, and find a path to get there. And it starts with your daily goals. Okay, daily goals. Goal number one: get up in the morning, get dressed. Okay, you can't go to work without the boots on. Okay, so get up every morning, get yourself dressed. Get yourself going, and have a plan for your day. One thing that I do pretty much every evening is sit back and say, okay, what is my plan for tomorrow? Okay, go back through the calendar, look it over, make sure I got everything in my head the right way. Okay, I typically sit down with my girls at breakfast. My wife and I do. We sit down and we ask them, okay, so what's the plan? What's on the agenda for the day? And we, just kind of get those ideas in their head now. Because if you don't have, like I said, if you don't have a plan in place and don't know where you're going, you don't know how you're going to get there. So if it's somebody who's struggling and doesn't know what they want, you got to do some soul searching. You really do. You've got to do some soul searching and say, what is it that I want to accomplish today, this week, this month? This quarter, this half of the year, this year, maybe 5 years down the road. What's your 5 year plan? Where do you want to be in 5 years? I'm 47 years old. Okay. And by the time I'm 55 years old, my goal is to not be climbing on roofs anymore. I want to build a team underneath me, which has already been started. I want to build a strong team underneath me of younger people who can go out there and take care of that stuff for me. Young, competent people who are willing to learn and eager to learn the process, so I don't have to do that later on down the road. I mean, it's we ain't getting no younger, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
if somebody's lacking vision and goals, it's going to be hard for them to accomplish what they think they want to accomplish. Okay, you know, do I want to be a millionaire one day? You bet. What does it take for me to get there? It takes me building a team. Okay, I've got to build a strong team underneath me. Start thinking about different ways, different people in different locations to try to make that happen. So have a vision in mind. Okay, and start setting little goals. Okay, if it's daily goals, set daily goals. If it's weekly goals, monthly goals, start setting those goals for yourself and really start to strive for them, because that's what it takes to get above the water. So that's what it takes to get into a real life situation where you're actually being successful and you're moving your business forward. Okay.
I know in my life when it was the little things at first. For me, it was like just getting that, like brushing the teeth 3 times a day and like making the bed and setting specific hours to eat. And once I started to get into those rhythms, it was like I started adding slowly on things to where 6 months down the line from when that day occurred when I first started doing that, that's when I was ready to like get started on running a business and actually
Yep.
trying to go out on my own and do something. But it wasn't until that, like, if I look back at the initial start, it was like I just had to start getting up and like showering every day. Like that was it. It's pretty crazy how quickly it
Yeah.
snowballs into this big thing.
Well,
Um,
I've got a theory that I've shared with several people before in the past. Okay. We all have little issues, like little problems. Okay. Well, if you don't take care of this little problem, and then you don't take care of another little problem, and another little problem doesn't get taken care of, eventually you got yourself one big problem, right? I mean, your big problem is you're not taking care of your little problems. Okay. So taking care of the little things, I mean, even things around the house, washing dishes, sweeping floors, taking out the trash. Okay, things like that. If you don't take care of that stuff, if you don't take care of those little things, eventually you got a big problem in your house. Your house stinks. Your house is dirty. Your house is whatever. So you got to take care of the little things inside of the box you're working with, and it makes everything else move pretty smoothly. So it's kind of words of wisdom. It's something that took me a long time to really realize myself. As a young man too. I mean, I was doing stupid stuff and going running around doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and it finally got to the point. It's like, what? I need to start taking care of those things, because eventually those little things wind up become one big problem, and it could overcome it. It could overtake your life, and it could cause you to get in some sort of trouble too. So that's what you have to do is really take care of the little things so it doesn't evolve into one big thing.
so I learned kind of one time a long time ago, and it's really stuck with me. So that the derivative of identity is like two, I think it's Latin words. It's identitum and essentitas. And essentitas is being and identitum is repeatedly. And so it's repeated being. The things you do all the time are your repeated being. So your house, not taking out the trash, not doing your laundry, everything like that, and your house stinking, the identity of your house is that it's a smelly house or it's a nasty house, right? Um,
100%.
and I think it's interesting because again, you look at it from a big problem. You're like, man, I'm depressed. It's like you're not depressed, man. You just don't brush your teeth. You don't shower. You don't do the stuff that's required in your day to day,
Yep.
and therefore you're now depressed.
Mhm.
And I think it's really interesting how just those little things can stack up very quickly. It's just like money too with money. You spend $9 here, $10 here, $15 there, and all of a sudden at the end of the month you're like, where'd all my money go? You know?
Yep. Yep.
And
We're
it's
dealing right. I've got a 16-year-old daughter. We're dealing with that right now. The child loves
yeah,
Subway. Okay. She loves
yeah,
Subway. But every time she goes to Subway, she's spending 10, $12. And, then she's like, well, I don't have any gas money. Well, maybe you need to stop eating at the Subway and come
yeah,
home for lunch. I mean, they've got open campus now, so they feel like they have to go to the restaurants. I'm like, no, I mean, we've got food here at the house. We live 2 miles from the house. You can come here and eat.
yeah.
But yeah, we're dealing with that right now. It's same concept. If you're not able to manage your money and control your spending, you're going to wind up in a world of hurt, and it's going to put you in a bad situation.
So I kind of want to switch gears just a little bit and kind of go a little bit more into your company. I'd love to just, get like a bit more of a breakdown of that.
Cool.
Who do you guys service for the most part? Do you have like a specific like you do like middle class, bigger houses? Like what kind of houses do you do? What kind of results do you get? That sort of thing.
Okay, so we try to target our demographics to and we can do this on Facebook ads and things like that. So this is actually something that's actually fresh on my brain. We tip. I mean, if the phone rings, we're going to go see them. Okay, I mean, we don't. I mean, it's not like we pick and choose who calls the number. But we target our demographics to people who are in I don't want to say average homes to better homes. Typically when you run into people who are in you look at a house and you can kind of tell what the situation is financially. So you can kind of pick and choose what your target is. So I try to target local communities. um, you know, we primarily do shingle roofing is what it is. That's kind of our wheelhouse right there. I mean, we are capable of doing metal roofs, but at the same time, it's because the process it just takes so much longer. But that's something we're trying to overcome. So, I mean, typically our demographics try to focus on mid to upper class clientele. Houses generally in your I don't want to say better, but your better maintained areas of different communities. Um, it's one of those things where we can actually focus our demographic search on Facebook to a certain credit score, a certain age group, a certain race, if we wanted to. So there's all sorts of things like that that could factor into it. But I mean, we service small jobs as big as jobs that we can find. I mean, we've done everything from small little repair jobs all the way up to stone coated steel roof metal roofs, and it's that kind of stuff, standing seam roofs. Okay, but I try to target the people that are capable of one who are financially able to pay for something like this, because it's a big investment. A roof is a big investment. There's no doubt. And even like residential remodels, that's a huge investment. So we try to focus on people that we know have the means to pay for the projects. We also here recently this year where we've really made a big impact is on the insurance side of things. Okay, so hailstorms come through. This year we were fortunate to have a lead from a guy that I know in the south side of Austin, and he said, "Hey man, you need to come out here and take a look at this community that I'm living in, this little neighborhood I'm in." He goes, "This whole place just got smoked." Well, it wound up turning into about 7 roofs out there. So you kind of target towards the storms. I mean, we're not storm chasers per se, but if a storm hits an area that we know there's been some damage in, we're going to go there. We're going to go knock on doors and try to use our resources that we have available in that area to try to generate some revenue.
That's good, man. And you work all over Southeast Texas? Is that where
Yes, sir.
you're really at?
hmm Yeah, like I said, I've done some work in as far west this year as Austin Westlake area, the Lake Travis area out there. I've been down in League City. We've done some work in Houston. We've done a lot of residential stuff around here. We live in Hallettsville, which is about 30 miles north of Victoria, Texas. So we're not really. We like to say that Hallettsville is 45 minutes from the rest of the world. So for us, I mean, we can reach as far as we want to go. It's a good center point for me as a business owner to be able to reach Houston, be able to reach Austin, San Antonio, even as far south as Port Lavaca. So that's kind of our footprint right there.
So I'm a little curious about this. So you guys are American Shield Roofing, and
Mm-hmm.
I see it on your posts. I see it all over when I look at anything that you guys are involved in. The Trust the Shield. Like, kind of give
Mhm.
me a bit of a breakdown. Like, what is Trust the Shield to you and to your
Well,
audience?
yeah, I'm glad you asked that because this is something that we just kind of inherited, I guess you could say, or brought on in the last year or so. Trust the Shield has become our motto. You look at, I don't know if you know anything about Gallery Furniture in Houston, okay, or Mattress Mac, here Mattress Mac will save you money, and he jumps up in the air. Well, we were looking for some sort of a catchphrase. Well, what does a shield do for you? Okay, what does a shield do for anything? A shield protects you, right? So we want to make sure that we are the shield that people have against anything that may happen to their house. Okay, trust the shield. You got to trust that we're going to be up coming in and taking care of your house the right way. We're building a protective layer on your house. Okay, and you got to trust that that work is going to be done the right way. Um, that's kind of the basis behind it. It's something that really kind of it was a catchphrase that I just happened to hear somebody say something, but hey, trust this and trust that, and trust the shield, right? And it's like, yeah, okay, well, it's how it kind of birthed into our motto of the company. So.
That's pretty sick, man. That's pretty sick. And you guys, I know, like, I see you guys like try to sponsor out in your local community and help out. And I think that is so important when it comes to, especially the roofing industry. I've noticed is like the people who get ahead are the ones who are sponsoring, are sponsored for other teams, and they're really there for their local community because you are. I mean, eventually, like that's what the Trust the Shield is. Like you guys are the shield when the hail hits. Like
Mhm.
that's it. They come to you, when there's no hail, maybe it's like, oh, okay, I could use a new roof. But when the hail comes, they're like, okay, I gotta find the people. And I really like your motto. I think it's a great standpoint for what your operation because by the looks of it, I mean you guys do great work. You're known very well in your area, and that is true. You are the shield at the end of the day. That's what the roof
Yeah.
is, the house.
Yeah, and back to the community involvement, this is something, I mean, my wife and I are both civic minded people, okay? I mean, she holds a state office with the Lions Club, okay? She's been on Chamber of Commerce boards, she's been on Booster Club boards, she's been president of different, things along the way. Same thing with me, I am currently the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce board, the executive board here in Hallettsville, okay? But we're both very civic minded people, and me, given 18 years to education, I've got a heart for kids. I've got a heart for athletes. So for me, it's one of those things where if I can, if even though I'm not coaching anymore, if I can still somehow contribute something back to these kids and help them be successful, that's my business end of it, still helping the school districts. Okay. We have sponsored a golf team for the Brandon Booster Club golf tournament this year. We've given money to help buy clothes for the student trainers at the high school. But it's not even so much about that. We've sponsored events. The Ducks Unlimited here in Hallettsville. The Lawaka County Ducks Unlimited is a huge organization. We got to be one of their sponsors this year at their big event. So these are things that we feel are catalysts for us to more business. Yeah, we want to make sure that we're helping these people out, but there's got to be return on investment at the same time, and everybody gets that. There's got to be an ROI on this stuff, and the best way for me to try to promote my company or get the best advertising in the world is word of mouth. We all know that. Referrals are the best form of marketing you can have. So the if we can put out to the community that, hey, we are involved in this community, we're very active in this community, and we want to be a part of these things. That's how people start to trust the shield. They know that we're here for the community. We're giving back to those who give to us. Because if we're not doing that, we're just taking people's money and pocket it and do whatever. So I want people to know that we're giving back. I want people to see that we're giving back to the community. Okay. It's going to help them. It's going to help us. The more we give to them, the more they give to us, the more we can give to them. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I eventually want to get to the point where, we can help, financially, on a very large scale donation. I mean, if we can donate, at some point in our life, if we can donate $100,000 towards, a building renovation or something towards, the football field, or if there's something that needs to be done, uniform wise, if we can buy a complete set of uniforms for a football team, I want to get to that point sometime, but the way we do that is by, we've got to be a constant presence, we've got to be a constant face in the community and let people know that, hey, we are here to give back. we appreciate your business, but we're going to turn around and give that money back to you guys in one way, shape, or form.
And that is beautiful right there, man. And what I like it about your process and what you have going on is you're absolutely right. That omnipresent thing where you're at the town events, you're at the football games, you have like things to give out to the town, and you're really showing that you care about the people around you. They're going to come back and reciprocate. And so I think it's a really interesting way that you guys had that set up. I mean, I found your Facebook page, and it just immediately I saw you have lots of pictures, lots of posts, lots of people involved, and that's what I've found is how like you get ahead in this industry. I know there's a lot of people who they make a Facebook page, they post a couple things, and it's like, oh, whatever, it doesn't work for me. You guys, you push through that, and I see that discipline in your content and in your website and in your work. Like I see it, and so that's why I think like from your background, from where you started, man, just seeing like that discipline carry over, it's sick because it's in all aspects. I'm seeing it in all aspects from how much I met you, man. I think that's pretty sick.
Yeah,
Um,
I appreciate that. It's I can't take much credit for the Facebook post. My wife is kind of a genius in that realm, so she's fully taken over that part of everything, and the whole social media presence is a lot of is her doing what she does. And about my only involvement with the Facebook stuff is going doing Facebook lives on job sites whenever I'm there. So, but yeah, she's done tremendously well at trying to take what we've had in the past and adding to it and making it our own. I mean, adding the stuff about the community involvement. And just taking the image of our company to a new level. It's kind of crazy. I sit back and watch her work, and she bangs on the computer and she, what do you think about this? I'm like, baby, if you like it, I like it. A lot of times she'll tell you that. I'm just like, yeah, baby, if you like it, I like it. And the fact that you acknowledge that is great, because I want her to know that people are seeing it. And
yeah,
eventually I want that to be, it's something that image is everything. Okay, perception is everything. People's perception of you is everything in your business. It's everything. And for us, to have something like this and put ourselves, put the past with the former business partner in the past. Okay, put all this stuff aside and try to come back and refocus and make a new image for, or how about not a new image for ourselves? How about take our image to a different level? Like she's done, and like our marketing team down in Victoria has done. It's huge. And honestly, I think as we wrap up 24 and start looking at 25, with the presence of these new salesmen I've got coming in, what the new salesman, the one guy I've got coming in, I think it's going to really help push us to the next level where we want to be, and we can start adjusting our own personal goals to more loftier things.
that's good, man. That and like keep it up. Like that's what I said. Like you're doing a great job from what and I'm not in your town, so I can't like
Yeah.
I haven't seen it before. But from what I've seen, man, you guys are doing awesome, and I really love to see that. Um, what is your what's like your message to the world or to like your town? So like either to like someone trying to get into business, just people in general. Like what kind of impact are you trying to leave on this world? Maybe is a better question.
I mean, like I said, I'm very civic minded. I've always been a giver. Um, I want people to know that American Shield cares. Okay, it's a dirty industry. I'm not going to lie. It's a dirty, dirty industry. And you start talking about insurance stuff and start talking about that. That's an even dirtier industry. So um, we kind of boast the fact that we may not be the cheapest out there, but we're going to tell you why. Okay, we're going to explain to you why. Somebody may ask, why are you so much more expensive than this person right here? Well, because you get what you pay for. It's the quality. But as far as the in town, I want people to know that American Shield is here to support the community. Not only this community, but other communities as well. If we get to the point where we open up an office in Houston or Katy or something like that, we want to be a presence there as the go-to company because we care about the community. We pride ourselves on high quality work. Okay. I mean, I've tried to use local guys for jobs in the past, for roofing jobs in the past, and it's only caused problems. It's only caused problems because you get leaks, okay, or you can't get them to come back out and fix something. So we use guys that are that I really believe in, guys that I trust, guys that I know that are going to take care of me, because it's the same type of situation. It's a give and take kind of a thing. You take care of your subs, they're going to take care of you. So I mean, for me, I can't afford to have a bad job in this town. I can't afford to have a roof that just doesn't that has poor reviews on, or somebody gets out there. I mean, it's a small town. So for me, I've got to push high quality every time I put up a roof. I go out there and talk about, you got to trust the Shield, because this is who we are. This is we offer the top-notch service in the area. You can get Chuck in a truck to put up a roof on your house, but if you have a problem, Chuck in a truck ain't going to be around. He's going to take your money and he's going to put up a roof and he's going to be on the road. We're here. I mean, our office, our house, we've office out of our home here, is right here square in the middle of the town. Okay. I've got a sign out front. So, if people know where we are, okay. And it's not like we try to hide or anything like that. So we do that. So people know, like, hey, you can trust us because we're here. One of the things I was talking to a customer not too long ago. He was like, well, he said, I see that your office is at your house. I said, yes, sir, that's right. And he's like, well, I guess if something goes wrong, I know where to come find you, right? And I said, yes, sir, that's exactly it. I mean, we're not trying to hide, and we want people to know that, it, in a dirty industry like roofing, and with the nature of the industry, we want people to understand that we are dependable, we're honest, and we're here to help people. It's not just to show up, put up a roof, and get on down the road kind of a deal. If you do have problems, we offer a 5-year workmanship. Okay, a 5-year workmanship is something that you very rarely find. The reason why we do that is because we believe in our product that much that if you have a problem, or we believe in our service that much, if you have a problem within those 5 years, we are going to be able to come back and help you take care of whatever that problem is. If it's something that we can, something that we did wrong, we will take care of it. Not a lot of companies can say that. Okay. The company I used to work for cannot say that. You go look at their reviews online and see what people are saying about them, and you look at our reviews online and see what people are saying about us. It's two different deals. It's two different deals. That was part of the reason I had to get away from that company out there, is because it was just too shady. It was just way too shady, and it just was not an image that I was wanting to portray. So that's why we went into business for ourselves and decided, hey, we're going to take an ugly industry and try to do something good for the community and try to do something good for society. That's the image I want people to perceive. I mean, we're trusted, we're dependable, we're honest. I tell people all the time, if I get up on a roof and there's not damage up there, you don't need a roof, I'm not going to sell a roof to you. Okay. I can, if that's what you want, but I'm not going to do that. If same thing like a hail claim or something like that. If there's no hail damage up there, you have a hailstorm come through and you don't have significant hail damage, I'm not going to try to push you into filing a claim. I'm just not going to do it. It wastes everybody's time, and it's not given that perception of who we want to be.
Wow, man. Well, that is a good message. I really it's nice knowing that you care about the community, and it's nice meeting people knowing that it's just not like, because you're right. I know I've met a lot of roofers, and I understand the industry, and I know what people are looking for in this
Mm-hmm.
industry, and a lot of people are just looking, like cash grab, don't really care about the customers, try to screw everyone out on the insurance, and it
Mm-hmm.
can be a rough industry, man. And so it's good to meet people who aren't like that, and I
Yeah.
really I think I think that is awesome, man.
Yeah.
We are running low on time. I'm going to so just process. Usually, I ask a question, and then from the last podcast, they have a question for you, and then you would ask a question for the next person on the show after the show is finished. So you tell me your question. The question I have for you today, and this one's pretty interesting. Would you work with a cheater? Why or why not?
No, I can't. That's part of the issue that I had before whenever I bought my business partner out, and I'm not going to blast anybody out there, but that's part of the problem I have. I can't. And the cheating that you see in the roofing industry right now is deals with people's deductibles on insurance claims. Okay, there's companies out there that are willing to not they won't make the insured, the homeowner, pay their deductible. Okay. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they make their money off that stuff. I don't know what the process is, but no, I refuse to work with a cheater. Okay. Um, there's too much risk. There's too much liability. Like I said before, in a town like this or in a community like that I'm in right now, and even in a county that I'm in right now, I can't afford to have that even part of the perception of the company. I can't afford that because it would shut us down. It would shut us down locally. So to answer your question, no, I would not work with a cheater just because if it's if they're willing to compromise their values and their morals for something that's pretty vital to the company, what else are they going to compromise? What else are they going to pull back on? What else? What other angle are they going to pull to try to get an upper hand on something? Yeah, that's just a hard no.
That's an interesting, you said the perception from other people. That was not how I originally thought of it. How I thought of it was more of like just more of a, okay, if you're cheating on your wife or your business or whatever, how can I expect you to not do the same to me, or
Correct.
same
Yep.
to anyone that we work with. That was kind of, but I didn't think about percept because you're right. If you're a big company and you have a big like an omnipresence in society and everyone knows, you're the owner and this is your co-owner or these are the people you do business with, and that person, is a cheater, that's a big toll on your perception. And I didn't that's an interesting way of looking at it, man. I didn't think about it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I mean, perception is everything. I mean,
Yeah.
people's views of you is who you are. Okay. It may not be who you really are, but if that's what they think about you and that's what they're in their own network, if that's what they're saying about you, then that's who you are. You know, and the one thing I've learned is that, in a situation that, where perception has driven people for, to make certain decisions here or there, you know, the more you try to fight that, the more that you try to disprove something like that to somebody, and more that you try to argue with people about stuff like that, the more guilty you look.
Yeah.
Trying to, it just makes you look ignorant. It makes you look like you are trying to hide something. And it's like, you do things, actions speak louder than words. You do things to make people have a perception of you, even if people have tried to, downtrod you or, say things about you in a community like this. Your actions speak a whole lot louder than words. So show the world who you really are. Show the people, show the community that you're not a cheater. Show the people that you're here for the community and you're willing to give back. That's where we're at. That's exactly where we're at right now, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Is we're going to keep on giving back. And if there's somebody who comes into the picture that is not dependable, or has their own agenda or something like that, and they're not willing to stick to the rules and live morally, then sorry. I mean, I can't work with you. You can't work with us. How about that?
Yeah. Well, man, I really, really enjoyed this show. Um, where can people find you?
Um, we are online. Like I said, we're office out of Hallettsville, Texas. You can find us online, www.americanshieldroofing.com. We do have a Facebook page. If you search for American Shield Roofing and Construction LLC, you can find us there. I've got a Facebook page. My wife has a Facebook page. Everything we have is pretty well tied to that company. Our phone number is area code 361-343-7018. That's the company line. If people want to contact me directly, I'm completely open to that. My number is area code 832-452-1116. That's my personal cell phone number. Well, like I tell everybody, and I try to say on every Go Live video that I have out there on Facebook, if there's something out there that you see with your roof or something at your house that you see that just doesn't seem right, okay? If there's something about it, it could be after a storm, it could be after a wind event, it could be after 25 years. It's an old roof. If there's something that you see on your roof that isn't right, give us a call. Okay, give us a call. Call me personally. I will come and look at your stuff and see what you have going on. I'll give you an honest assessment, an honest evaluation, tell you what the state of the condition of your roof is, and guide you in the right direction. If it's something that renders an insurance claim, I'll help you through the process. Okay, it's like I said, insurance is a very sticky game these days. It's a lot of denials out there, but yeah. So if it's something that you see that's going on with your roof that doesn't look right, give us a call. Give me a call. I would be more than happy to come out and visit with you guys, and let in. And if I can't get there, I've got my guys that are willing to go as well. These guys are just as dependable as I am, and I trust them. I believe in them, and we're here to help out.
Awesome, man. I really like really great show. By the way, anyone that's watching, all of the links to Facebook page, YouTube page for John will be in the description. But yeah, that's the video, man. I really enjoyed the podcast, and I appreciate you for coming on, man.